Cameras already in the back. Okay. You okay?
Yes.
You're about to kick off. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Mikel.
We'll kick off with Gary from Sky.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new contract.
Thank you.
We've heard you speaking to the club about how special it is. But for a wider audience, how are you feeling now that dust has settled on the announcement?
Well, I'm really happy, really excitement. I think it shows the alignment between the club and myself and the coaching staff, that we are in this journey together, that we enjoy working together, that we have much higher ambitions, that we want to fulfill them. So that's the way that I look at it, and as I said, really pleased and grateful as well.
I think it was this week, 13 years ago, you made your debut as a player at Arsenal. So in terms of off the pitch,
Still look the same though.
You've aged very well.
Yeah.
But it's been a lucky 13 because I guess you wouldn't want to be anywhere else at the moment.
No, I couldn't think about a better place to be, to develop my career as a player, to experience such an amazing football club, the people that I met, the experiences that I had, and now as a manager, that has been something fun, beyond and better than what I ever dreamed about, probably.
We talked about lucky 13 there in terms of you've got a new deal, but unlucky 13, I guess, in terms of the news this week regarding Martin. What can you tell us about his injury?
We need some more tests, so let's see what happens in the next day or so, this afternoon probably, and see what happens, what is the extent of the injury, and how quickly we can get him back. He's super positive about everything. We know Martin, he wants to be there every single day, but we have to wait and see.
I know there's probably swelling, so it's impossible for you to give a proper prognosis, but having seen him, I'm sure you have seen him, is he hopeful that it might not be as bad as potentially you first thought?
I leave that to the doctor, but yeah, his will, there's no question about that. He wants to be present in every game, and obviously a big game like this one, but we need to make sure that we know, first of all, how good he can be or not.
But just to clarify, I know we can't read too much into it because of the swelling, but you're not ruling him out at this stage.
Players with 48 hours are always available, but let's see what happens.
And obviously other injury concerns as well. How's Mourinho coming on?
Better. It's a slow process because it's a bone and it takes a while to heal. He's progressing well. He's already doing some stuff. He's working extremely hard. We're using this time as well to make sure that he understands a lot of things that he has a lot of questions about. And when he's back, he's ready to go and impact the team.
Before the next international break, potentially? Or?
We don't know. Honestly, it's very difficult to understand the healing of the bone. I think the moment he has a lot of symptoms, you can speed it up very quickly because he hasn't lost anything else. But we have to wait and see.
Better news, Gabriel Jesus is out there with the rest of the players?
Gabi was out. He's got another session tomorrow. If everything goes well, he will be ready to be selected in the squad, which is great news for us.
And I think I've not mentioned Fiore yet.
Yeah.
Any news on him?
Yeah, it's another one that we have to wait another day or so, yeah.
All right. And what about Raheem? Obviously, he's had a chance to train with you a little while now. Would it be too early to give him a start against?
He looks great. First of all, because he's got a big smile on his face, a lot of energy. He's at it, and he wants to prove a point. And when someone's got that in his belly, you sense it straight away. And obviously, I don't need to discover anything about his quality and what he can bring to the team.
So that's a yes then.
Yeah.
And just a final thought: for the first time ever, Arsenal won't be wearing their red and white in the North London derby. I know it's something to do with the club, nothing to do with Spurs, but do you think that matters?
Well, it's not ideal. We wanted to play with our home kit and our colours, but it's not our decision, and we will adapt. We did it against Villa, we won, so hopefully you're going to bring very good luck as well.
Thank you.
George, good to see you.
Mikel, just on Raheem, when you say he wants a proof point, what's he been like in these last 2 weeks, and basically what's just going through his head about what he wants to achieve with you at Arsenal?
Well, what I see is hunger. He's a player that wants to play every minute of every game. When it's not the case, he's not happy. He loves football. He's what he likes doing every single day, and I see that. And his commitment, the level of energy that he's bringing to the team, and the quality is a big boost. You can feel it on the players as well. When he's walking through the door, we are better with him, you know, and he's going to make us better.
He had a great run of goal scoring at Man City when you was there. Every season it seemed to go up. Can you both unlock that again and how you see him play in your team? Because he had a knack of being in the right place at the right time with goal scoring.
And he has this ability, and obviously the credit to that is his and the player that he's got around him. And you need that when you're one of the front players, certainly. He has that intuition, that will, and the ability to do that, and I'm sure he's going to impact the team.
Just going back to your contract, when you first joined Arsenal, it was a very different club to the one now. So just how is it evolving in the way you want it to, and what's next for Arsenal? You need to make the next step in winning major trophies.
Yeah. Well, in the way that I think we all wanted, because we wanted a very different club, and we are in the right direction. We have made some huge steps, and we have a lot still to make. And you sense that hunger from ownership to the board to all the players and staff here, and this is the aim and the objective.
And is there any club or country you would have left Arsenal for? Were you so settled on just
No. This is the emotional attachment that I have, that my family has, my kids have, the experience that I have, and the involvement with the people is too strong.
It does look, going into this weekend, regardless of what happens with Arsenal, you are going to be relatively short on numbers in midfield, and there's obviously 3 massive games coming up. It does seem that Ethan's got more of an important role in your squad. I just wondered, would you have any issues throwing him into a big game? Because you've spoken in the past about not overexposing young players and throwing them in at the right time. Yeah, well, we have to adapt to that. Through the season, we're going to have this kind of situation. It happened very early since the second game, because when you look at the bench that we had against Brighton, it's very different to the one that probably we all expected. Is the situation that we have. We have to face it, use opportunities. The young kids have given us a lot of hope and a lot of right reasons as well to count on them. And if we need to, we will do it for sure.
Need from the Premier League?
Hi.
Congratulations on the contract extension.
Thank you.
You had a chance to participate in this game as a player, as a manager. This is one of the greatest rivalries in English football. What's your best positive memory as a player or manager?
Probably afterwards, especially when you win at home and you celebrate with your supporters, and you know how it means. There is something special. We have so many huge Arsenal supporters since the day that they were born, and looking at that stuff, and we have some good examples around the first team as well. They come in after the game, and the emotion and what it means for them. It's a privilege to have the power to contribute to someone, making someone really happy and a special day for him.
I want to ask you about the Spurs manager, I won't use the word admire, but how much respect have you got for him from the moment he got to Spurs? You really see the football philosophy.
No, I admire him. I respect him. I think he's been an inspirational coach as well in my career, because he's done things in his own way in various contexts, in various countries, you know, and he has a very unique way of thinking about the game and his philosophy, and I love it, and he stands by it, and I think as well he represents himself and the club in a really good way.
A question about Raheem Sterling, please. It's been nearly 5 years since you worked in Man City. How much do you think he changed and evolved as a player since this time, and how do you think strong his desire and hunger to be successful now at Arsenal?
Yeah, a lot. Obviously, in his personal life, a lot of things have changed since the moment that we were together. The player, I was really surprised. The first call that I had with him, I knew straight away after 10 seconds, we have to bring him, because he really wanted it, you know, and that was my only question mark, you know, what is he at, what stage is he at in his career. After 10 seconds, I knew already before the next questions, we need him here.
Hi Mikel, hope you're well. Going back to your new contract, when you look at what Arsene Wenger built here at Arsenal during his time at the club, when you look at the other great managers that have managed in the Premier League, like Sir Alex Ferguson, Pep, Mourinho, do you feel like you can build a legacy here like the likes of Arsene Wenger and some of those other managers have built at their respective clubs?
Hopefully, yes, you know, but you're talking about the best in the history of football, certainly in this country, and there is my aim and motivation, my energy is to be my best version of myself, the best coach in the world ever for Arsenal. and this is it. You know what the club needs, what those players need, what we need as a team to keep developing and achieve what we want, and that's the only objective.
For all those Arsenal fans that are listening to this and are excited about your new contract, what's your message to them about what the next few years could offer for the club?
Thank you. That's what I would say. Thank you for the gratitude, for the time we have spent, for the trust, for the confidence that they've showed, and hopefully that can continue. And we are here to make people happy and enjoy their passion, which is to love and follow a football club, and we are very responsible to try to achieve that for them.
And lastly, on Kai Havertz, he ended last season in brilliant form. He started this year really well. How pleased have you been by the way he's adapted to that role up front and the way he's playing?
Yeah, he's been great. Obviously, it was a journey till that point that we navigated together, but nobody doubted about his quality and he can bring. And especially, I think the success comes because of his character and his personality and how he approaches every game, every situation, facing it and going for it. So it's a joy to have him.
It's great. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Okay, we've only got a couple more in the live section. We'll go to Jordan from the Athletic.
Okay, just with the injuries you've got just now, obviously you let Eddie, Emil, Reece go out on loan or leave the club this summer. Are you still happy with the size of the squad that you've got and the depth that you've gone with this season?
Yes, it can be bigger, yes, but as well we have certain limitations that we know about. We have to do certain things, certain transactions, and as well because certain players, you know, they have our time with us and they needed a new challenge in their career. We have signed a few players. It's been a bit different to the previous years, but I'm really happy with the quality and the squad. But there are certain things that we cannot control, you know, and what happened in the last 2 weeks is extremely unlucky. We have to face it, but hopefully during the season will be very different.
It's a really tough period coming up early in the season. You know, 5 of the next 8 games are against the top 8 from last season. I guess how do you approach that, where a lot of people are saying this is already make or break for Arsenal with the injuries? You know, the title could be out of their hands already by October, November. How do you try and flip that?
Day by day, guys. It's if we look where we're going to be at the end of May and the amount of games that we have to play and the level and the challenges ahead, we cannot think like this. You know, we're gonna run out of oxygen. You know, I want to have the energy, the enthusiasm for the next day, the next game, and prepare that in the best possible way. And that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna go to Spurs with an unbelievable energy, and believe that we're gonna go there to be ourselves and try to win the game.
And finally, in the live section, to James from ESPN.
Mikel, near the end of last season, Tottenham played City, and there were a lot of Spurs fans who wanted their own team to lose that game because it would mean that Arsenal wouldn't win the league. Andrew Postecoglou was really kind of surprised by that at the time. You must have watched that game. What did you make of it?
I think I always have the faith, and I know Angie a little bit that his team played to try to win the game. They had some big, huge chances that any other day would be very different, and no question, no doubt about that at all.
No, but I'm talking about the fans, though, just the extent of the rivalry. Does it kind of underline?
I don't know which fans, you know, and how many of those. I don't know. Everybody has his own thoughts, and I can speak by myself, and I never had any doubt about that.
Okay, that finishes the live section. We'll now go to 10:30 tonight. We'll kick off with John.
Hello, Mikel. In the last couple of seasons, fantastic wins and big performances, big results in key games. It's a huge week ahead, isn't it? You know, it could really be a defining week. But how important is it to kick off with another sort of really big performance and set yourself up for this week?
Yeah, that sets the tone in many moments in the season, because when you play those big matches, big stages, it's a lot of at stake. It's a very emotional game as well. When you are able to perform and deliver and win those games, is a huge boost, and we know that, and that's why we're going to try so hard.
And can I just pick you up on what you said about sort of Raheem knowing in 10 seconds that he was going to be a good side, and what did he say?
Because his first word is, "I was dreaming with that goal." That's it. You know, that tells you that he really wanted it. He was already thinking about the possibility, and he could see himself here and delivering and enjoying his profession again. So when that happened, the rest I knew about it. So that took all the question marks away.
Sam?
Mikel, when you were at Man City, Pep always credited you with helping Raheem to develop that instinct in front of goal and to score all those goals. Can you explain a bit what you and Raheem did work on in that time?
But this is the work of all the coaches and what we do, and all the coaches that we have here, how they try to improve every individual. At the end, Raheem did that because of his quality, because he found as well the right environment, because the way Pep put the team out there suits him in a way that probably before it wasn't that much, and then obviously he had an immense impact in the team, and he was very successful.
I think at Chelsea, obviously, there was less of a structure, and he played for like 4 or 5 different managers, and it was all very different. Do you think Raheem needs that environment that's similar to what he had at City, and what you're trying to create?
Yeah, we're going to try to give him everything that we believe that is going to help him and empower him to get the best version of him, and we will see daily how does look, you know.
You spoke about how he's changed as a person in the 5 years since you worked with him at Manchester City. In that time, he's obviously done well at City, had a difficult time at Chelsea, especially towards the end, and fallen out of the England squad. Have you had any concerns about his confidence levels and needing to find that again?
Yeah, that's going to fluctuate in everybody's career, obviously, and knowing him, you know, and how he's about always playing and always being present and always being important. And when you have that status, that role, for that to be changed, obviously that hits you, you know, and we have to rebuild on that. But we've got all the foundations, and I think the right context for him to get to the level that we want.
And a game like Sunday is a perfect opportunity for someone like that to come in and make a fresh start, a big start, isn't it, on such a big stage?
That's one of the things that I love more about Rush, is that you take him to any ground, anywhere in the world, and he's willing to be there to make the difference. And that's what you need at this level.
Listen.
Hi, Mikel. With Ethan Winery potentially in contention for this weekend, maybe, how has he developed in the past year as a player and as a man? Because he's a teenager, but still, he's obviously grown.
Well, huge development. I think big credit to everybody working in the academy, the coaches, starting with Jack, Mehmet, all the coaches around him, Per, that have prepared the player to be in the right position right now to shine and be prepared for the different contexts and obviously demands that he's going to be facing right now. But he's been doing really well, physically very mature, passionate, really mature. His game understanding has improved a lot. And then let him do. You know, he has an enormous quality, a lot of talent, and he needs the space to shine.
With Gabriel Martinelli, he obviously started the first 2 league games, and Trossard took his place in the last league match. Of course, it fluctuates over the season. With Martinelli, where is he standing in the squad? And with the signing of Raheem Sterling, could he possibly, not teaching things, but maybe in training competition that could maybe elevate his level as well?
Well, especially at this level that we're talking about what we have to do this week and the way we play and the demands that we have. You know, we needed wingers with the ability to go on 1v1, to attack spaces, to have the war rate that those 3 have, to increase the goal threat from every position, and have players that can play as well in various positions in the front line, especially because we have some injuries there in the past and we had to be protected there. And I think all of the players that we have there, they have these qualities.
Okay, last couple in this section, Phil.
Mikel, you said that Raheem's obviously keen to prove a point. How much of a driving factor is that for him at the moment? Do you think perhaps the proved doubts his role?
It always has to be in your tummy, you know, whatever it is, whatever you're looking for in the next stage is to move somewhere else, is to prove a point, is to change your role in the team, your status, whatever it is, and he's got that. He wants to play.
And then obviously England was mentioned earlier. Do you think that he can actually get his way back into that squad? I know it's early days here, of course. But
I don't know what he wants, and the manager is we're going to try to manage him the best possible way and put him on that pitch.
Hi, Mikel, just looking ahead after Sunday, you've got a very difficult week coming up, and potentially, you know, not having a few players available for such tough fixtures in Italy and against City. Is this going to be a really big challenge for you and your players to go away to those places and try and pick something up?
It's always the difficulty of the matches and the opponents that we're going to be facing, for sure. But we have tremendous players, we have a really good squad, we are really hungry, we want to do it, and to deliver what we want, we need to be able to respond in these scenarios, and the team is ready.
Okay, and just on your contract, just wondering how important your relationship with the chairman, Josh Kroenke has been in you signing your new deal and planning for the future?
Yeah, well, instrumental. Obviously, they showed a lot of trust and believe in me. I think we have a really special bond connection. We share exactly the same vision, and they're giving us a lot of responsibility to take this club where we all want. And not only them, but a lot of people that are at the club that are very much aligned with what we want to do, and we all have the same motivation.
Okay, we're now going to 10:30 tonight. Kick off with Dan.
Mikel, congratulations on the contract.
Thank you.
On the pay rise. Apart from going on holidays and having a nice home or going out for nice dinners, how do you treat yourself when you want to treat yourself to something? What's your weakness? Is it watches? Is it wine? Is it cigars?
Yeah, I'm not very materialistic, to be fair. I love having my family around. I like nice holidays. I like to have a good, comfortable house. But especially what I like is to have people around me that give me love and stability. That's my treat. And my family, especially my wife, my kids, my parents, my sister, and my friends, what they give me is that they treat me the best way, whether I'm first, bottom, whether I have won 9 in a row or lost 3 in a row. And that's a joy and a privilege. And that's my treat.
In terms of injuries, you say you've been very unlucky in recent weeks. But I was looking at the stats from last season. I think you had 6 players who started 34 games or more, another 4 who made more than 30 appearances. Would you accept that perhaps you were lucky with injuries last season, and that's why this year is going to be such a challenge?
Well, I don't know. I think it was a lot of work done in the right way, and what the staff and the way we have evolved a lot of the things internally to give the players the best possible and to build that robustness in the squad. It was great. I think this season we started very unluckily because with some injuries that you cannot control, and it's very difficult to do that. So we'll have to wait and see at the end of the season how well we've done. But certainly we'll put everything that we can to be availability-wise at least as good as last year.
And with the injury to Martin, I know we don't know what the extent of it is at the moment, but for a player like Leandro Trossard, who at times has had to cope with being a substitute coming on, as you mentioned the other week, how much of an opportunity is this for him to shine? And just can you talk again about the qualities that he brings?
Well, I don't think Leo needs any injury to shine. I think he has earned the right with performances and the way he has conducted himself in any scenario to have a very important role in the team. And he is very important, and he's a crucial player for us.
Right.
Hi, Mikel. This time last year, Kai Havertz had sort of struggled to adapt to his new surroundings, but now he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet. What does that say about him, and particularly if Martin isn't available on Sunday, how important is Kai going to be in sort of, filling that void potentially?
Yeah. Well, that shows the consistency and performances that he's shown over the last year or so, and that's what we need from our players. That way we brought him here to be one of the main players and be a very prolific goal scorer, regardless in the position that he plays in. He's added that, and he's added many other things to the team as well that probably are not noticeable because you are not there, guys.
And you touched on it earlier, but the game between Spurs and City at the back end of last season, where you said you were sort of jumping around your front room with your sons when Spurs missed a few chances. Is it important to remember the kind of disappointment that both you and your players probably felt after that game when you came into training the next day? Can that be used as kind of motivation to ensure you get a big performance in this kind of match?
Well, it certainly was an experience at the end. You have to reflect on did you try, did you do the best that you possibly could? And if that answer is yes, and somebody else was able to achieve it because they were superior or better or they had in the key moments what they needed and we didn't, you have to accept that. That's it.
And just lastly, you scored 2 goals from set pieces at Spurs last season, and Declan was, of course, one of your corner takers. Has that been part of the challenge this week, that you're going to have to potentially mix things up, and actually can it make it, make yourselves more unpredictable in a sense?
Yeah, if there is a very specific phase of play that we are so dependent on one player, then we have a problem, and we haven't built our methodology or our way of attacking or defending any phase of play in that way. We're going to adapt to other players and the quality that they have, but still be very efficient, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
Okay, finally we'll go to Gary.
Can I ask one for a colleague who's been looking some kind? He just wants to know what was the key for his development and improvement this year, in the calendar year? What was the key for him?
Probably his consistency out there, how much he wants it, what he does to achieve it. Because a lot of players want it, but they are not ready and they are not consistent to be willing to do what it takes to go through that. And he did it 100%.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.